Today, we're going to walk through a story, a timeless one, a story of God's incredible mercy and His plan to bring us back to Him. Let's dive in. You know, if you've ever felt that kind of distance from your Creator and just really longed for a true, lasting sense of peace, then this message is for you. It's a story all about a promise of reconciliation. So, where does this story start? Well, it begins with the truth that so many of us share, the belief in one eternal Creator. And that's really the foundation for understanding His whole merciful plan. This story begins with the one God, who is eternal, perfectly holy, and just filled with mercy. He's the creator of the heavens and the earth. And when it came to humanity, He did something so personal. He formed us from dust and then breathed His own life into us. What a deep personal connection right from the very beginning. But something happened. As people turned from the Creator's path, a distance started to grow. But even with that separation, God's merciful heart didn't change, not one bit. His plan to bridge that distance, to bring us back, was already in motion. And God didn't keep this plan a secret. Through ancient laws, through stories and signs, He started to reveal what this promised redemption would look like. He gave us hints of what was to come. And here, you start to see these two amazing sides of God's character. On one hand, His law revealed His perfect justice and holiness. At the same time, though, His deep compassion was shown through the act of sacrifice, which was a way to restore peace, all while pointing toward a much greater, a final sacrifice that was still to come. This brings us to this key idea, a redeemer. What does that even mean? Well, there's a beautiful old story about a woman named Ruth. A man named Boaz stepped in as her kinsman redeemer. He paid a price to restore her family and her future. In that story, it perfectly illustrates the heart of God's plan, that someone would come to pay a price for us.
And incredibly, it's from that exact family line, from Ruth and Boaz, a lineage protected for generations, that the promised Redeemer was finally born, al-Masih, Jesus the Messiah. A personal story about one family became the path for a Redeemer for all nations.
So, this leads us to the absolute heart of the story. The promise wasn't just an idea anymore. It became a person. God Himself entered our world. The one God, in His incredible mercy, decided to show us who He is in the clearest way possible through His living Word, Jesus the Messiah. He wasn't just another prophet carrying a message. He was the message. Now, this might be a new concept for some, but it shows the one God in perfect, unified action. You have the Father, who is the source of this whole plan of redemption. You have the Son, the eternal Word, who carried it out by living among us. And then you have the Holy Spirit, the very presence of God who comforts us and brings us new life. It's one God with one purpose. And this all leads to the ultimate sacrifice, the one that fulfilled every single sign and prophecy. This is what opened the way to true forgiveness and lasting peace. Think of it like this. Some call it the Great Exchange. On one side, there's humanity, guilty and separated from a holy God. But on the other side, there's God's incredible provision. The perfect, divine judge Himself steps down and takes the place of the guilty. That's how forgiveness is even possible. This victory happened in three key moments. First, at the cross, Jesus, the spotless one, offered Himself as that final, perfect sacrifice. But the story doesn't end there. On the third day, He rose from the dead, proving He had absolute victory over sin and death. And because He is alive right now, He continues to offer that same forgiveness to anyone who turns to Him. You see, this whole story, this incredible plan of redemption, it isn't just history. It's actually a personal invitation to every single one of us, an invitation to return to our Creator. Just think about that for a moment. This isn't a story about us struggling to reach God. It's the story of the Creator Himself coming near to us, bridging that distance, all to bring you His peace. So the question really becomes a personal one. What does it mean for you today to know that the Creator of the universe has made a way for you to have peace with Him? For anyone whose heart truly longs for this peace, the response is just simple, sincere faith. Words like these are an example of that response, a simple prayer of turning to God and accepting His incredible gift of redemption. So that's the story of divine redemption, a story that all comes back to this one beautiful, powerful truth, one God who provided one Redeemer and now gives one Spirit who brings us new life. The only question left for us is, will we accept this incredible gift?